Oh, I know a salmon story. One time in the springtime, Randy's mother got up early in the morning, looked out the window, and she seen a bunch of little lights out in the water swimming past her house. She was so shocked, she went and got Randy. She woke him up and she told him to look out the window. And he seen it too. He seen all them little lights going by, and it was the salmon. And God let her see that the salmon bring back the light so that we'll live. The Creator let her see them fish swimming by even though she was in her house. You know why?
Why?
So she could tell the people. And now they know the message is real and that story is real.
I'm a Yakima enrolled tribal member. 10 of the 14 bands of the Yakima Nation existed for thousands of years along the Columbia River. My connection to this land, knowing that if I look west, if I look north, if I look south, if I looked east, that our families are buried all along this river. Our ancestors are buried here, and that there was great civilizations here of people who were able to do great things. I was the youngest in my mother and father's family, and I watched my older sisters and brothers and their roles in the fisheries. We drank the river water. We bathed in the river water. We lived on the banks of the river year-round. You could go out on this river and set one net, and you harvested enough fish that you didn't need to set a second net. And I swam in this river when there was hundreds of thousands of salmon. And it's a different feeling when you have so much life that's using this river as a ways to get to their final destination.
A century and a half ago, Thomas Jefferson envisioned an empire of freedom and opportunity in the far Northwest. The Columbia has been a river of hope, a shining symbol of plenty, to build a colonial empire.
Indians find good salmon fishing in the rapids. They have a special treaty with the government which lets them fish here at Salado Falls the whole year round.
First of all, the Treaty of 1855 with the 14 bands of the Yakima Nation was a forced treaty. The governor of the territory at the time told the leadership that if they didn't sign the treaty, they'd walk knee-deep in blood. And that was the blood of their own people. They had very little choice. There was different legal advisors through time who were trying to determine whether the Indians were real human beings, whether we actually had souls. The people here were so linked to the salmon resource and to the Columbia River and its tributaries and we need to be able to gather in our usual and accustomed areas. We have to be able to survive. In the treaty, we got the right to hunt, fish, grazing, travel, and for that, we gave up over 10 million acres of land.
I remember what this one was called. Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson, yep.
Tell you another one.
Thank you, baby.
My name is Ayana. I am 9, almost 10. I like swimming, and I like being out on the water with my dad.
Put a loop on it, and you don't let it fall in. Keep that in your pocket.
My dad said when I was a baby, he would put me in the water, and then when he would take me out, I would cry. He called me a river baby.
All right, see you guys in a little bit.
I'm mostly here because my dad has to fish a lot. He gives it to like the longhouse so they could use it for their funerals or ceremonies, powwows sometimes. And we also make money too. Then we also get to eat it.
Just put some lemon flavor on there.
My dad is pretty funny, but he makes rude jokes.
When are you gonna cook? And I just sit back.
Pretty strong. He should be a mechanic because his boats are always breaking down. Oh, and he smells. When he gets off the boat, he smells like fish. And I tell him, you smell, and he says, I smell like money.
So I'm gonna go back.
Uncle Randy's, he's not my uncle, but he's my dad's uncle. I just call him Uncle Randy because I don't know what to call him. He's kind of like the boss. And he likes telling stories a lot. He told me a story about when animals talked. I don't know if it was real or not. I'd prefer my dad to be out on the water instead of like one of those normal jobs. I also want to be a fisherwoman because I see my dad doing it, seems fun.
My name's Samuel George. I'm from the Yakima Nation. I do commercial fishing. I fish for salmon, and I fish for my Uncle Randy Sutler. These are family sites, and we've been here forever. Anna George is my daughter, my little fish cleaner, fish packer. I think she's not scared of this. I think she pays attention and is always learning. Got her own boat. I'm gonna teach her how to operate that. I'm gonna teach her how to put hoops in so she can get some to eat, some to put away, some to give away. That'll make her happy. But I hope there's fish though when she gets older. Like I don't know how much longer we'll be able to fish. The water's getting warmer and warmer, and that's why I'm not too confident in the runs that are coming. I have another boat I need to build, but I don't see much use of it if the runs keep getting smaller and smaller. Good day today. We caught one fish. Did you eat anything?
No.
Okay.
I'm surprised we got a fish.
You surprised?
Yeah, we
What do you
haven't,
mean you surprised?
because this spring we haven't got any.
Lift the lid up, please. Move that latch. There you go. Okay, grab that fish and those potatoes.
Are we gonna eat it?
Oh, it's for the longhouse, baby.
Oh,
You might have to go to the store.
Okay.
Well, there's my mom and her buddies, and they were all fishing women from down here along the river. Here's my father right there. During this time, there was a lot of civil rights movement, and the tribal people saw that the only way that they might be recognized for treaty rights is if they became active, much like the African Americans. And my father and my mother, they were a part of that struggle. When I lived here, I lived in this constructed facility that was metal, corrugated tin, siding and roofing. Our bed was right here, our stove was right there, and this was our existence. This is where we lived, all the way through grade school. And when they excavated, we would go play in the excavations, and we'd find spearheads, different trade beads. We knew this was a tribal area that went back for hundreds of years.
Now, river, you can ramble where the sun sets in the sea, but while you're rambling, river, you can do some work for me. Roll, Columbia, won't you roll, roll, roll? Roll, Columbia, won't you roll, roll, roll?
A challenge to reclamation engineers to match the wonders of the Ice Age. To build an industrial empire from the wasted power of the Columbia.
With this system, there's not a free-flowing river any longer. We've lost all the spawning beds that took thousands of years to develop. What you see today is remaining populations which are supported by hatcheries. There's very few wild fish returning to the Columbia River. I probably noticed significant changes when I was about 20 years old. I myself would go out and fish subsistently for spring chinook and fish for 3 or 4 weeks and not catch one fish. The ESA constraints were so great on our fishery. And all the while that we stopped fishing on spring for 20 years, on summers for 40 years. And in the fall, ocean fisheries continued to harvest our fish before they got to the Columbia River. Throughout history, there's always been a competition for the natural resources. Logging, road building, mining, industrial farms. If this river gets hotter, salmon can't exist. And we've reached 70 degrees and over on numerous occasions.
Auntie Donna is my dad's auntie. She like says, "Ayana, come here," and then she tells me stories. She teaches me like how to do the dried fish in the dry shed, like how to hang it up.
Every morning it's the first thing I do. I don't do no other jobs till I check the fish and make sure that everything is in good order. And when you hang it like this, and then it swings, they say the fish has to dance with the wind so that the oil will shake off. And Randy, he told me this, he said, Indians been eating fish so long, they found it in our DNA. I walked all the way over there to get it for you. Were you getting hungry? Oh, that's good. Everything, is evolving. But with progress is also hazards. The dams, they need to produce electricity, or so they think. I like electric things, but we're all paying the price. So we could have cars, play our games, turn the lights off and on. Okay, this one is about the Swallow sisters and the coyote. Long time ago, God told the people that he doesn't ever want them to dam up the river. But the coyote was the trickster. Well, he decided that he would dam up the river, and he didn't care about the people that lived way up the river. He didn't care if they didn't have any fish. So he makes this dam, and the fish come and they can't go past. So he's filling up his boat, and he gets more and more, and nobody else gets any. And the Swallow sisters, they lived up on a hill, and they were looking down watching him, and they said, he's not supposed to do that. Nobody is supposed to do that. And they stole his little boat. And then they start taking all them sticks where he made the dam. They start flying them away and dropping them. Pretty soon the water start coming through. And the fish got away, and then the people that lived farther up the river, they were able to get the fish. That's how things were taught in the Indian legends, so you'll know how to behave, even when you're grown up.
Take the time to welcome you, friends and relatives, right here to Wy-Kan, Salado. Many people have been going through a lot of hardship, through losses. So I know many are here that want to bring in these healing songs of the round dance.
It's really fun knowing all the things they do at the Longhouse. Really, really nice music. Kept getting stuck in my head.
You gotta do the fish dance so we can catch one.
What fish dance?
Just make one up.
My auntie told me that like nature is kind of a part of us, and like the river is also a part of us too. So like if you catch fish, it's kind of like a part of us too.
It's told to us that the spirit of the salmon, the Wy-Kan-Ush-Pum, it's been passed on through generations, and all the bounty that it brings, not only to people but to this land. In our belief system, it talks about our ceremonies, about the prayers for the salmon to survive whatever its journey is and to return back. And when it does, it's a celebration of our belief that our prayers are still being answered. When you take these fish, you take them with good thoughts, good heart, good mind, because as you take these fish back to these places of worship, all the thoughts that you thought are placed upon those first returning salmon.
And seeing if they're doing it right.
You're blessed with this time in your life where you're able to take these fish. And if you live your existence in such a way that after your life's journey is complete, those spirits of the fish travel with you.
You just had to like put your feet side to side, like one foot, then you slide your foot to the other foot. I was too scared to go alone.
We as Aboriginal people need to exist. And it's not changed from the time of the treaty until this day.
No.
Today I'm here because I was placed upon you. Auna Sinwet, Eloquent. My name is Frog. That's the name that was given to me. And I live here because my people put me here. And that's pretty much what I have to say right now.
Ko ina inama pachawai pama ko kata ko paoyatak nala kai Hey, I'm a Wy-Kan-Ush-Pum. Ana tako pinasa pawa skale kamano etaikan. Ana tako man he au yala kai kisham swai kanashmi wau nakshash. Ayayat nain chanati champa. Hey, ay, hey, ay, hey, oh. Ay.
And now we will have cheese balls. That's the end of the story. You want cheese balls?